The desert had a strange way of hiding truths. In daylight, Dubai looked untouchable, glass towers shining like diamonds, endless highways glowing beneath the sun, royal names spoken with admiration. But after midnight, when the city lights softened and the wind swept across the empty dunes, another Dubai awakened. A quieter one. A lonelier one. The kind of place where even princes carried invisible scars. Hamdan stood alone on the balcony of the royal residence, the skyline stretching endlessly before him. Thousands of lights burned across the city, yet none of them reached the emptiness inside his chest. The world believed he possessed everything a man could desire: wealth, honor, influence, power. But no one ever asked what it cost to live a life where every smile became a public performance and every decision belonged to tradition instead of the heart. That night, rain touched Dubai for the first time in weeks. Rare. Unexpected. Almost symbolic. Hamdan closed his eyes as cold droplets landed against his skin. Somewhere below the palace walls, music echoed from a distant celebration, but he felt detached from all of it. His life had become a perfect photograph trapped inside a golden frame, beautiful to outsiders, suffocating to the one inside it. Then his phone vibrated. A single message. No matter how royal your world is, some destinies arrive uninvited. No name. No number. Just words. For reasons he could not explain, the message unsettled him. The following evening, during a charity exhibition near Al-Sif, Hamdan arrived surrounded by security and cameras. The crowd moved like waves around him. People smiled, bowed respectfully, whispered his name beneath their breath. Everything appeared ordinary until he noticed her. She wasn't trying to impress anyone. No diamonds. No designer glamour. No desperate attempt for attention. She stood near an old photography display, studying a black and white image of Dubai from decades ago. While others watched the prince, she watched history. And somehow that difference pulled his attention harder than beauty ever could. Her name was Ilara. A writer from another country. Quiet eyes. Calm voice. The kind of presence that felt dangerous because it was sincere. When she finally looked at him, there was no fascination in her expression. No obsession with status. She looked at him the way people look at ordinary souls. That disturbed him more than admiration ever had. "You don't seem impressed," Hamdan told her. Ilara smiled faintly. "Power impresses crowds. Peace impresses me." The sentence stayed in his mind long after she walked away. Days passed, yet her voice lingered inside him like unfinished poetry. For the first time in years, Hamdan escaped the palace without escorts. He drove through the sleeping city alone, eventually finding himself near the old creek where lantern lights reflected over dark water. And there she was again, sitting quietly beside the shore with papers scattered around her. "You keep appearing unexpectedly," he said. Maybe destiny dislikes schedules, she replied. From that night onward, Dubai changed for him. The prince who once lived among royal meetings and guarded halls began disappearing into ordinary moments. Coffee shops hidden in narrow streets. Silent walks beside the marina before sunrise. Long conversations beneath desert skies where stars looked close enough to touch. Ilara never treated him like royalty. And slowly, Hamdan stopped behaving like a prince around her. He laughed more freely. Breathed more easily. For the first time, life felt unwritten. But beautiful things rarely remain untouched. One evening, Ilara discovered documents hidden inside an abandoned archive room beneath an old government building she had been researching for her book. At first, they looked insignificant aged files covered in dust. Until she recognized royal signatures connected to a decades-old scandal buried from public history. A disappearance. A betrayal. A truth erased to protect powerful names. And somehow, Hamdan's family stood at the center of it. Her hands trembled while reading the final page. Because the story revealed something impossible. The man officially declared dead 30 years ago had secretly survived. And he had left behind a son. A son connected to the royal bloodline. Someone who still existed. Someone dangerous. That night, black vehicles surrounded her apartment. Unknown men searched the building. Phones stopped working. Lights vanished across entire streets. Dubai suddenly felt less like a paradise and more like a kingdom hiding monsters beneath polished glass. Ilara ran. Not for herself. For Hamdan. When she finally reached him deep in the desert during a private horse-riding retreat, the wind carried fear across her voice. "You're living inside a lie," she whispered. Hamdan stared at the documents silently beneath moonlight. Every page shattered another piece of the identity he had trusted his entire life to. This can't be real. But it is. Far away, thunder rolled across the desert sky. For the first time, the future crown prince of Dubai realized the greatest threat to his life was not outside the palace walls. It was hidden inside his own legacy. The days that followed became chaos. Royal advisors turned hostile. Trusted allies disappeared. News channels began spreading controlled stories to distract the public. Even the palace corridors felt colder. Hamdan stood between two impossible choices: protect the royal image the world worshipped, or expose the truth that could destroy generations of power. And somewhere within that storm, he discovered the cruelest reality of all. Destiny was never rewriting itself. It had been rewritten long ago by people afraid of the truth. But fate has strange habits. The harder humans try to bury something, the louder it eventually returns. On the final night, Hamdan and Ilara stood together at the edge of the desert while dawn slowly painted gold across the horizon. Behind them waited power, danger, betrayal, and a kingdom trembling beneath secrets. Ahead of them waited uncertainty. freedom, truth. Hamdan looked toward the rising sun with calm eyes. All my life, he said softly, I thought destiny was something inherited. Ilora intertwined her fingers with his. And now? He smiled for the first time without sadness. Now I know destiny belongs to the people brave enough to rewrite it. As sunlight flooded across the endless dunes, the prince who once belonged to a scripted life walked away from fear beside the woman who changed his story forever. And somewhere in the heart of Dubai, history quietly began writing a new chapter.